Hi everyone, welcome to Path of Mastery. I'm Sean Zemba. In this training session, I'd like to talk about how you go beyond mindset and into mastery. These days, thankfully, there's a lot of talk about mindset because the right mindset could be a game changer in your life. For example, let's take Navy SEALs, for instance. If as a person is in Hell Week and they're on rep 20 and they're thinking, oh my God, I have to do thousands of more repetitions for this. I have to survive for days and days with sleep deprivation and cold and pain and anguish with people harassing me, and I can't do this. And when you have a mindset like that, when this is your focus, absolutely there's too many moments stacked against you, so you can't make it through. However, a lot of the SEALs who succeed, they adopt a mindset more similar to this one, where you're on rep 25 and you're thinking, I can make it through this moment. I can survive just now. I can do one more rep. And as they do that, they push the edge of their capabilities and they break it down into small bite-sized chunks that they can be absorbed in and direct all of their resources to. And it's much more manageable to survive 5 seconds as opposed to 5 days. So that really helps. Now, it could go beyond that, like David Goggins does with something he calls taking souls, which is when he'll do something so far, he'll push to such an extreme that when he hits those moments of I can't do it, it actually gives him energy. And when he does that around people who don't believe that it's possible, as he demonstrates that it's actually something that a person can do, he feels as though he's getting energy from that. He's taken their soul. I don't think that's taking souls in the most literal sense, but it shows you how powerful this can be. Now, another area where mindset can be absolutely critical is having a growth mindset, where if you're having a difficult moment with your partner, instead of having the mindset of, I don't know if this is going to work, this person doesn't understand me, you can transition to having a growth mindset with, what can I understand about my partner from what they're expressing? And you have a question, and that will allow you to direct your focus and your resources towards the task of discovering what you can learn about your partner in this situation, or how can I facilitate better understanding with my partner? How can I express my point in a way that is not going to ignite the fire even more? How can I share what's in my heart while cooling the flames of discord in this conversation? And as you direct your focus, your mind is going to start to look at possibilities and try and come up with a strategy or some method or maybe a menu of possibilities that you could apply and attempt to use in your scenario. Having the right mindset can be a game changer. But we're talking about going beyond mindset. If you have to learn how to think constructively about a situation like I just did, you're in a difficult moment. How do I constructively address the challenges ahead? If you're in that situation, you're going to have a difficult time. First of all, you have to think to do it. That's a good way to say it. First of all, you have to think to do it. If you're typically negative and you want to think about being constructive, if you go, I don't know if I could do this, my partner doesn't like me, I don't have the skills to give this presentation, I don't have enough competence to address the audience that's going to be in front of me. There's a lot of experts there, and I'm not the top expert, so who am I to express what I know? when you have a mindset like that, again, we're wired neutrally. Our resources, our focus, our vault of experience is going to try and find proof to validate what you're saying, that there's no way out, that you're not good enough. And when we have patterns of behaving like this creates imposter syndrome, and will lead you to thinking that you're just not good enough. And every step you do, you'll see more critical flaws, and you'll just eat yourself alive psychologically. This will sap you of all your strength and all your power. So if this is your normal mode of being, and you want to think constructively about how to address a situation, then mindset is not really a part of your life. It's like you're something you're starting up, which is good. It's something you have to do. And an easier way to do that is start with ideal situations and get the reps in. So how would you do that? You'll think about a difficult moment, and then you'll think constructively how to do this. And you're like, okay, I don't have enough money coming in. Can I work more? Can I get a side hustle? Can I somehow leverage a relationship to minimize my expenses? Is there some other way that I can decrease the cost of what I'm currently doing while still maintaining quality? As you have quality questions like this, as you start to head down a constructive path, this will direct your attention in the same way where if you're waiting for your friend to pick you up and you know they have a red car, you're not quite sure the model, all of a sudden you're going to see a sea of red driving down the road. You think, oh, there's my friend, there's my friend, there's my friend, but they're not there most of the time. Eventually you see them. Now, if you start to know the shape of the car, what it looks like, this refines your focus. Just like a well-crafted question will refine your focus and allow you to more accurately discern if the car approaching belongs to your friend or not. So, if you're beginning to install mindset, begin in ideal situations. Dedicate some time in your day or in your week to practice going through thinking constructively about challenges you face during the week. As you do that, you're going to start to install that as a possible strategy to stressful situations. And if the stress isn't too high, it's more likely that you'll be able to select that from a menu of things you've done in similar circumstances. Now, let's go beyond mindset, beyond having to think about it. You see, when you go beyond mindset and into mastery, it's such a hardwired part of your being that there's no thinking involved anymore. You're just acting. You're just doing what needs to be done. So this is when you've gotten the reps. This is when you've conditioned yourself. You took a part of your day and made a ritual or a routine that you will repeat until you have this installed as part of your being, that you no longer have to work to maintain. And initially, when you're installing a mindset, when you're installing a behavior or a habit, you're going to encounter resistance. But if you persevere long enough, and research shows that this could vary from 66 days to 253 days, depending on the complexity of the habit or belief or mindset that you're working to install. But after that period, whichever it is, after that, it's a part of you. It's a part of your life, and you are automatically existing this way. So let me give you an example. In 2009, I had a very difficult year, 2009 into 2010. It lasted for pretty much a year to the date, which is funny. But I had a difficult time. All I could see was pain, where I had failed, where I was insufficient, where I was frankly pissed off that I didn't see the world the way it was. That I invested so much time, so much intention, so much attention, so much energy and focus in something that doesn't exist, that isn't real. And I wanted it to be real. And it hurt so bad. It hurt profoundly. So I applied a technique that I was learning, where you would direct your attention into the pain without story, and you would feel it. And in this way, direct more and more presence into the pain. Now, this might sound strange for some, but this is actually a very common foundational piece to many traditions, not all in the East. In the East, you have Vipassana, or deep looking, as some Taoist retreats would call it, like maybe deep looking or Vipassana, as Thich Nhat Hanh would call it. In the West, David Hawkins, he called it the art of letting go. And Eckhart Tolle would call it, feeling the present moment, or paying attention to the pain body. In my training, we called it something else, and there are more refined steps than I've seen in other approaches, but the principle is the same. You're directing your focused attention into a feeling you have without story, and it would peel back layer after layer after layer of the stories you had about it, the misconceptions, and gradually the painful emotions you had associated to it. And gradually you would release these misconceptions and these pains in the same way that as you stretch and feel the tension in a muscle, and over time you can get more muscle fibers to release and you could go deeper into a position. This is the same way. So I was doing this for no exaggeration. It became a part of my being. Yes, I had focus practice, but it was something I did all day. So I was doing this 13 hours a day for about a year because I wanted to make it through. And I was just becoming aware of decades of pain that I had suppressed. So this was coming up and I'm feeling it. And, I got through that year. But that set the tone for a habit of being. I got so used to looking at, extremes of emotion. And as you would resolve tremendous pain, you would have like an equivalent of peace and bliss that would fill the void. And what I did was this became such a part of me that people that I would work with down the line would say, how are you doing this? Everything's crazy and I'm telling you about changes and that make things harder for you. And you're just like, okay, I expect you to be mad, or I expect resistance, or I expect a comment. And you're just, okay, you're at peace, you're calm. Are you just zen with the world? Are you just high on life? I mean, come on. Like first they would ask, what drugs I was on. And, since none, I never believed in having a crutch to sustain your mood. Because I never believed from growing up that any crutch would always be there for you. So I didn't want to become reliant on some external source to manage myself. I wanted to develop these skills on my own, even when I didn't know that there were skills to develop. So I interacted with so many people. They're just, are you zen with the world? I mean, how are you doing this? Why are you so calm? Why does nothing bother you? That I actually lost rapport with a lot of the more emotional people that I had to work with, because they were so used to being outraged and being pissed off that if I wasn't speaking a similar language to them, if I wasn't expressing that this was such a tragedy or this was so difficult, that they would actually get more pissed. So I learned how to put on the show as if it what really mattered. But deep down, facing tremendous levels of pain and discomfort and conflict within myself, became such a hardwired part of my being that things that people would normally experience as a calamity, I'm actually saying excited is too agitated of a phrase, but I'm very happy and open with the possibility of encountering these things and wanting to face hardship, because it's nice to have that greater expansion that comes as you face it. This became such a hardwired part of my being. And so you too can install things to such a deep level that you don't have to think about it. And when a mindset is still new, when it's still fresh, or when it's a tool in your toolbox that okay, I know how to direct my attention when I need to be resilient or constructive or positive in a situation. When it's just something you go to in times of need, it's not going to be there for you. When you install this as a part of who you are, this is mastery. When you get enough repetitions in that you don't have to think about it, then you can be in this state and in a state of flow and just navigate the situation, naturally embodying the skills and the traits that you wanted to have. This leads you towards self-mastery. This takes you beyond, okay, I know in this situation I should be loving. I know in this situation I should be open. It takes you, I know in this situation I should have a goal or visualize or be more clear. As you install this as part of what you are, then the distinction between who you are and this behavior disappears, and it becomes a part of your essence. It becomes a part of your nature. This is, changing what you are at a fundamental level. As you install these things, with so much repetition, with so much intensity. Now, there are many things we can install. We can install creativity. We can install discipline. We can install resilience. We can install having a constructive attitude. We can install having clarity. We can install, directing your attention in the most useful place. We can install simplicity. We can install passion. Anything can be installed and made a part of your being. And as we close out this training session, I'd like to invite you. This week, I would like you to take 20 minutes to journal. Write out some quality that you would like to install as part of your life. Maybe it's more discipline. Maybe it's the ability to push through difficult times, the ability to be more compassionate. I would like you to consider this and write out a strategy for how you're going to develop this, how you're going to get the reps in. How are you going to practice enough that it becomes a part of you in 66 to 253 days? So I encourage you to really take this seriously, because self-mastery will lead you to so much expansion and productivity and power in your life. Then you're going to become the person that you needed in your most difficult moments. And you can learn to be that person for those whose lives you touch, or to address whatever mission may call your heart. So I'd like to thank you for watching this mastery session, and keep an eye out for the next one. If you would like to get in contact with me, you can reach out to contact@pathofmastery.net, or simply go to pathofmastery.net and peruse other offerings, other blogs, other ideas that I've created to help you train yourself to reach unprecedented levels of development. Hope you have a fantastic day. And once again, thank you for your dedication to mastery.